Welcome, welcome. I'm Dee, and this is a single mom unguided life where I try to navigate the finances, motherhood, being single, and everything in between. And I bring you guys along for the journey to hold me accountable. This is my February budget closeout. This is where I find out what really happened during the month. So I always start with my monthly budget overview sheet because not only does it tell me my financial goals, it also tells me what I was expected to bring in, as well as what was expected to go out. I always check to make sure that in each of these items, there's a check mark. And if not, I have to go and verify that this is cleared my account. We will revisit this sheet a little bit later. This was my income breakdown number 1. And this actually shows us the actual numbers. What actually hit my bank account, what was actually in my bank account, what I actually had to pull from my savings for my expenses to be covered. Okay. On this sheet as well, you can see the items that are highlighted are ones that are actually charged to my credit card. So I do not take that amount away from the total. It falls into my checking buffer. And then after when I'm done with this, I remove the total amount to a separate checking account that I use to pay the credit card off with. So this is income breakdown number 1. This is income breakdown number 2. Same scenario. What hit my bank account, what I pulled out of savings, what was already in my bank account, and anything that came in that I was not expecting by this income breakdown. Now, this is the envelope system spending record. I closed it out on February 25th because my new budget started February 26th for my March budget, excuse me. So I used the highlighted method to tell me exactly what week was the spending in. Additionally, something happened. I accidentally threw away the weekly check-ins for my envelope system and sinking fund. It's because it was like so many papers on my table and I was just trying to get rid of them. And I was like, this must be trash. And I just threw them away. And then when it came to closing out this budget, I couldn't find them. So I had to print my new format, which is fine. You get a little preview of my weekly check-ins in order to ensure we close this out properly. So we're going to move this to the side. And we should be able to see this. I'll make sure we got a good one. A good view. Okay, we should have a good view. So we already did a mid-month check-in. So we don't have to discuss what happened in the first 2 weeks. I always check in weekly. So I never have to turn around and cover you for the past 2 weeks. So let's talk about the last week. So the totals that was remaining from week 3 was $25 for fun money, $30.44 for groceries, $116.49. $30.44 for gas, $116.49 for groceries, $19.42 for household, $28.01 for personal, and I did have to add $15.16 to this category. So that's why if you're trying to do the math and you minus the 60 from the 47.15, it does not come out to this. This only because this was added in, but I still take account what I spent, okay? It's because it was the actually what was the balance of this particular category, okay, at the end of the week. So restaurants was $20 where I started. I spent $7.79, so I left with $12.21. So those balances carry over to this last week. So for the last week, we had a couple things that happened. So we'll discuss. First, with the fun money, I did not spend anything from my fun money category, and I'll show you. I scheduled to go to a winery, but the weather was bad, and at the time we were only allowed to do outside tasting. So now they're transitioned to doing inside because our governor released some restrictions. So I'm gonna have to reschedule to make it to this winery. So I didn't spend anything. So we're gonna put a 0 there. For gas, so I ended the third week with $30.44. I did spend $28 for gas the following week, as well as I did make a deposit for my side income of $60, and again turned around and purchased gas. So for the gas category, we calculate what actually went on, okay? So additionally, I'm no longer going to be doing the 0 out challenge for my gas. I want my gas to build and have something in there because I'm always going to need it. So I don't want to keep zeroing this out and needing something and then end up pulling from miscellaneous because I have enough in gas. So with that being said, I did 0 out for the last time, $2.44, because that's what actually was left in the account prior to me depositing the $60. So all in all, I spent the $28 and the $30.89. So that was $58.89. Plus the $2.44 that we can save for the 0 out challenge. So that spent $61.33. So I'm going to put that here, and I know it's going to look weird for right now, but it just makes sense for me to do it this way. So $61.33. And then I'm going to write my little note here that I added 60, and then the 0 out challenge, I did the $2.44. So when it's time to calculate that, we know exactly what's going on. The next category we're going to talk about is groceries. All right, so for groceries, we start out $116.49. And so I did receive 42 cents back from the tomato paste that went bad. I actually spent $78.89, $26.25, $6.11, and $4.95. So I actually spent $116.20. We're going to minus the 42 cents. So I actually spent $115.78. Okay. So then the next category we have is household. And for household, I did end up adding $16.95. And I end up spending the $36.37. So for personal, it was the $21 plus $6.54. So that's $27.54. And then for restaurants, it was $4.05 plus $5.56. So that was $9.61. So let's calculate what's remaining for each category. All right. So we have to calculate what we're sending to or have sent to the 0 out challenge. And so that was the 25 plus the $2.44 plus the 71 cent plus 47 plus 260. So for the 0 out challenge, I sent $31.22. Okay, we're gonna move this to the side because we don't need this no longer at this present time, and we're going to talk about the sinking funds. We closed out the sinking funds again on the 25th, and so we're just going to talk about what we've done thus far. And let's see if we can get these both in frame for you so you can see what I see. And you should be able to see it okay. All right, so starting out for this week on week 4, we only spent $5 for gifts. We didn't spend anything in gifts. For health, we actually received our money back from our flexible spending account. For miscellaneous, which is on the envelopes sheet, and so I have 6 categories for my envelope system, and the miscellaneous is the buffer to the envelope system, and so that's why it's on this sheet, as well as there was no room for the other one. So we didn't do anything for miscellaneous, so we're going to put 0. For Papa, let's go back. We didn't do anything the 4th week as well. For property, there was no changes. For taxes, I paid my CPA $233.75. For travel, there was nothing that went on there. And for bill carryover, we had some rollover, 0.61, 0.25, and 0.73. So that was $1.53 that was actually deposited. And that rollover comes from when I make purchases with this account, I have it sent over to the bill carryover to help beef that up a little, because in the end or in the interim, I may need to pull from that category if the bills shift. So let's go ahead and we're going to calculate what we have remaining in each category. Okay, as you see, I made a mistake. I calculated correctly, but I wrote it wrong, and I still can't see it, so I'm just gonna make it look a little darker. That should be good. And so how I verify that this is correct is I just verified the same amount here. So this is how I close out my sinking funds. This is the spending tracker. This spending tracker here is for the unbudgeted checking account. So I did use this account to loan money out. I have received 1 repayment. We're not sure why the other repayment is taking forever, but we're going to follow up with that. Additionally, I forgot to add the bill carryover during our income breakdown number 2. And so I still had to move the money. So I moved the money and just deposited into the buffer because I made the buffer less based on the fact that I didn't account for that $16. I order Uber Eats, and I didn't have the right card with me, and I used the envelope system card and not my unbudgeted checking account card. So I had to make that correction because I did make a purchase that was unbudgeted. So that was me correcting that issue. So that was for me $280.70 when it was time to close out this budget. So this is the monthly budget master plan. This is a worksheet that I received during the 30 days of giving that Tasha from TashaLovesLife.com and Mind Your Money here on YouTube and on Instagram. She was having where she was providing us different ways to budget, sheets and different tools. I don't know where I can get it. Different tools that we can use to budget. And this was one that caught my eye. And it's Reason why, because I always want to reflect on how my month went, and as well as what I could done better, and then speak life back into my finances to ensure that going forward we'll be back on track. So I'll be right back. I do have to take a quick break, and I'll come back and we'll discuss this. Okay. Had to step away. Somebody needed my attention. So let's go ahead and talk about a monthly review to get this over with. This is for February. There we go. And so let's first talk about the monthly take-home pay. And so the income source number one is any paychecks that hits my account. So initially I budgeted $3,344.41. The actual amount that it totaled was $3,493.75. Now for the income source number two, which is usually anything that I'm pulling from my bill checking account, my savings checking account, my savings account, my bill, my credit card checking account, the bill carryover, and the buffer. And so that actually totaled the amount that I budgeted. For bonus income, it totaled $107.51. That included the $26.67 from Papa, the $20.84 that I received from Rakuten, and then the $60 that I deposited into the gas sinking fund. So let's go ahead and total that up. So that was $4,604.60. Because I did have to reprint this, I did, and I see where I need to make some adjustments. Let's go ahead and put the amount that we budgeted for. And we already know that this was zeroed when we started. So let's talk about the fixed expenses. There was no changes with our fixed expenses. They were all the same. So I'm not going to write anything out. I'm just going to go ahead and put the total here. Then for our variable expenses, I end up paying the $169.85. That was the total bill for me and Papa's cell phone bill. So my portion was $143.05. His was $26.67. He sent that to me because I placed this on my credit card. The other item that was different is that I started to put an unbudgeted in my variable expenses. And the reason why I did that was because I need to take account of the money that's going out of the unbudgeted category. And I thought I was doing it, but I was placing it here and it didn't make any sense to me anymore. So now I put it over here, and it actually was a total of $145.81 because we do not budget the unbudgeted, but this is what actually happened. So as far as the other bills, they were all the same. There was none that was different. So I'm just going to do this because they were all the same. And my little trick that I do is I start off with what's supposed to be taken out, which is $1,397.83. The items that from this column that is not the budgeted amount, I minus that. So I minus the $143.05, and then I add what the actual was, which is $169.85, and then anything else in the actual category, which is the unbudgeted, so the $145.81. So that gives me $1,570.44. Let's go over here to the envelope system. So usually what I do is whatever I budgeted, I said I actually did that, but I'm no longer going to do that because I need to reflect because I'm doing the 0 hour challenge, it needs to be reflected in the review as well. So for fun money, I budgeted $50. $50 did go into this category, but only the actual that was used for this category was $25. For gas, the total that I budgeted was $60. the actual that went into the account was $176.56 was accounted for. Now of that $176.56, $147.45 actually went out of the account. We still have that $29.11 that's in the account because I'm no longer going to zero it out. For groceries, I actually spent a total of $348.44. For household, I spent $76.81. For personal, I actually budgeted $80. The actual was $100, and of that $100, $99 actually was spent. For restaurants, I budgeted $40, and $37.40 was actually used. So let's calculate that total. So that is $763.21. So let's move on to our savings and sinking funds. Now this is what will be actual because they go into a particular account. And from there, I monitor it in my weekly check-in. So for car maintenance, I saved $200. In car maintenance, I actually spent, so I always put a check to make sure that I verified and reconcile this particular account. For gifts, I saved the $50 for the gift or gifts category, and I did spend out of that category. For health, I didn't budget anything, nor did I save anything additional over that, but I did spend out of that account, and I did verify that. For miscellaneous, I did deposit the $50. And out of the miscellaneous category, and let me just double check. I don't think I spent out this category, but let me just double check. No, they're just deposits. So I didn't spend out of there. For Papa, I saved $200. And let's see for Papa's category. Yes, I did spend out of Papa's category. And I verified that. For property, I budgeted $30, saved $30. I didn't spend out of there. For taxes, I didn't budget anything. It doesn't come out of my paycheck budgets or income breakdowns, but I did spend out of that. For travel, I saved $15, and I'm going to put a check because I did spend out of that category and have verified it. For bill carryover, I didn't budget anything, but I did send $25.58, and I did spend out of that category. And as far as savings go, the savings that we're accounting for is what we sent to the Zero Out Challenge. And so from here, we sent the $15.57 plus the $31.22. So that should give us $46.79. And we haven't spent out of that category. And the checking buffer actually ended with $301.54. I have spent out of that category. So let's go ahead and calculate this up. Okay, so that's $918.91. So for the total income that we brought in for the month of February is $4,604.60. Now we're going to add up each of these areas and we're going to see exactly what that totals. So that's $1352.04, $763.21, $1570.44, and $918.91. And every dollar in my budget is accounted for. Okay. So let's go back to the monthly budget master plan. And how did I do this month? I'm giving myself a grade of C. And that's because when I look at my financial goals, I didn't put 500 plus towards my emergency fund in February. I did bring in 1,000 plus for my side income, but that was before taxes, and that wasn't my goal. And there was not times where I was breathing and regrouping. In the beginning, it was strong, but towards the end, I fell apart. So that's why I'm giving myself a grade of C, because I was allowing for others' misfortunes and actions gain a reaction out of me. So no self-control this week. No self-control this month. Okay? What could I have done better? Set financial boundaries. Say no. So we want to speak life into our budget, so going forward, we will not be caught off guard. And when I think of a money affirmation, so my money affirmation is, today I commit to living my financial dreams. Today I commit to living my financial dreams. I'm going to repeat it again. Today, I commit to living my financial dreams. I have to remember that it's me in the forefront, and I am the sole contributor financially to Papa's well-being. So nothing and no one should get in the way of that. And in order to ensure that, setting financial boundaries. Okay. If you're new to my channel, I would love for you to be part of my village. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. To all my returning subscribers, I want to thank you. To the ones who reached out to me personally through comment when I was having my breakdown. Got a little choked up. I really appreciate your words of encouragement, your confirmation, and your support during that time. I rarely allow myself to be vulnerable in a way to show others my feelings. And so it was a relief to do that. And I can see from the week, like after that, how things were just flowing in. So this is definitely a powerful statement for me. This is where I'm at right now in my journey. This is where I'm at right here. Call me out if I fall back into that trap of being and doing for others while neglecting my house. Everyone hit that thumbs up so they know I'm here. And please share this with your family, your friends, and your coworkers. Peace out.